up everybody, Subaru WRX fan here for another car review. This is of course the 2015 Subaru WRX STI. Many thanks to Hans for letting me drive his brand new car today. So about the STI, well, it's the STI, the top dog from Subaru, and I mean, it looks spectacular. I mean, I talked about the looks of this basic car in the 2015 WRX review that I did, and they just took it up a notch with the STI. I mean, you still have these fantastic, sweet new headlights, and this one is not the launch edition. I actually prefer these wheels. They're these black wheels, and the blue and black theme, this looks really good with this car. And obviously you have the STI badge all over. The spoiler in the back, I still prefer the slightly smaller spoiler of the older STIs, but this one, it accents the car's body lines very well, and I just really love the way these look. I mean, there's no mistaking it coming down the road, especially in this blue color. It's just a really cool car to look at. Right, for the interior of this car, it's really nice. Like the 2015 WRX, all the same improvements here. It's really, they have just stepped up their interiors by leaps and bounds. It's a really nice place to be now. So first thing you notice is getting into this car, and the first thing that's an improvement is the doors. The doors on the previous generation STIs were a little stiff to me for some reason, just kind of low quality. These feel a lot more fluid, and it's a nicer feeling door. Then you sit down in these seats, which are much improved over the WRX seats. The standard WRX seats, not the best. I was kind of disappointed by them. These ones, you know, still a little bit more wiggle room than I would like. It's not quite as awesome as the Evo seats, but these are really the best STI seats there have ever been. Aside from maybe the ones in Japan, those awesome Recaros and stuff, but these are the best USDM seats that I think we've ever gotten, and they're really nice. I love the red accents and the Alcantara inserts. It's just a really cool seat, great support. Next is this steering wheel, which is marvelous, like the 2015 WRX one. This, though, I really love the perforated leather here, you know, in the 9 and 3 zone, and the 9 and 3 grip is amazing. You have these huge 10 and 2 notches, the flat bottom, and the STI actually has metal here, or it feels like it's metal. It's not the cheap plastic that the WRX has, and just a really amazing wheel. I don't know, this is just like, I could hold on to this thing all day. Next is the gauges in this car, which again, same as the WRX for the most part, but that's no complaint. They're amazing. I love the gauges on these 2015 cars. Very cool, you know, the way that the backlighting is. You have a nice little color screen in the middle there. And then coming along to the center console here, you have another little color screen that has a boost gauge, which is very sweet, you know, and it'll also tell you different things like your torque split, has a clock, it'll give you your audio information, all that kind of stuff, which is cool to have. And then coming down, I mean, I love that everything is, you know, this carbon fiber look. It's not real carbon fiber, but I'm not picky. It looks cool, and that's all that really matters to me. And it's really nice, though. You know, you have this, like I said, the same stereo, same complaints as the WRX, where, you know, it's similar to the one from the 2014 cars. It's okay, you know, not the highest quality, but it's all right. I'm not going to complain about it, because no one that drives an STI really cares about the button quality. The knobs for the climate controls, things like that, are very nice. This metal is very sophisticated looking, and I'm really impressed with the way they did that. And then you have the SI drive controls here, which are same as they've been in the previous STIs, you know, with the sport, sharp, and intelligent modes. You have the diff controls here, and so yeah, it's very cool. You know, a lot of the same stuff from the previous STIs, but they've improved the interior so much. It's such a nicer place to be now. As far as storage space goes in this car, it's really good. That's one thing they really improved on as well with this car. So you have map pockets here in the doors, it has a bottle holder, which is really nice. You have this nice big center cubby that also has a power outlet, which is nice to have. And then you have this little cover that covers up your 2 cup holders. And then you come back here and you have your center console here that has a USB and an auxiliary jack, and also another power outlet. It's a good depth too, so nice little center console there. And all this stuff you touch all the time. Like I said, the steering wheel feels amazing. And then this is a nice soft Alcantara material here, and then you have your elbow pad here on the door, also is nice and soft, and everything you come in contact with is very high quality in this car, and it finally feels, especially in the STI, you're looking at a car that's, you know, almost 40 grand. It feels like it's worth that, which is really nice. Backseat space in this car, same as the 2015 WRX. Very roomy, very nice, and yeah, no complaints there whatsoever. Trunk space is also very generous. Like I said with the 2015 WRX review again, I don't know how you could ask for much more from a sedan. It's enormous and plenty of room, unless you're looking for a hatchback. I know, there's no 5-door version of this car, and that drives some people insane. Unfortunately, maybe we'll get it sometime in the future, but for now, that is plenty of space. You know, for a sedan, it's really good. Alright, so let's start up and go for a drive. So it's just a standard key still, Subaru sticking to the basics here. And so yeah, you just slip it in and turn the key. Alright, so setting off in the 2015 STI. This is something that you guys have been waiting to see from me. So, first impressions. Well, first things, you look in that rearview mirror and you see that huge spoiler, which is a hilarious reminder of what kind of car you're driving here. It's really funny. Other visibility, though, is excellent. You know, forward visibility, the windshield's huge, side windows are huge. Like I said, you benefit from the same basic architecture as the Impreza, which is a very safe and, you know, it was built with safety in mind, so you have great visibility, which is nice. Other things you notice, this is a brand new car. Essentially, it has 357 miles on it as I'm driving it now. So, you know, everything takes a little getting used to. The clutch and everything can be a little tricky, but it's not too bad. One thing though that is really apparent right from the very beginning is this shifter. It's very precise, but the throws are so short. It's interesting. I mean, like third and fifth are really close together. Like I just went into fifth accidentally when I was looking for third. Again, this is just very first impression, so it might get better the more that I drive it, but that's just something that stands out right away, is the shifter is very closely spaced. Another thing is, you know, this has the same EJ25 out of the, you know, STI, the same one it's had for the past 10 years, but they've kind of increased the noise. I think there's an induction tube, kind of like the BRZ, where it pipes in intake sound, and that's just to give you a little bit more of a experience, but you can kind of hear it as the turbo's spooling up. It's funny. It sounds really sweet though. It sounds way better than any of the other previous generations of the STI, and this is stock, so imagine you have an exhaust on this, it'd be even better. But it really makes this car more exciting stock, because stock STIs were always silent and really you couldn't hear anything at all. So it's nice that now you can finally have some good induction noise. That's very refreshing. Alright, so let's turn onto this back road here and see how it does. Okay, so it's quick. Yes, it's very quick indeed, and it's a different sensation to the WRX, because the WRX, it's, you know, that's a totally different motor now, and it's very progressive in the way it builds boost. This one, it still takes a little bit to spool up, and it's fun. It's the same classic STI recipe. I know a lot of people, including myself, wish that this car was faster, you know, had more horsepower for 2015, or had a different engine or something, and we can go talking all day about that till we're blue in the face, but, you know, I mean, bottom line is this is what they decided to do, and it's still fun, and it's great for tuners and all that kind of stuff, because it's the same motor, you know, all the parts swap over and everything's easy. So and it's still fun. It's still plenty fast, obviously. I mean, that was a very quick acceleration run to an unspecified mile per hour I'm not going to disclose. So let's see about this power again, shall we? I'll do a second gear full this time. Yes, it's quick indeed. Alright, so while I'm stuck behind this slow car, I'll give you some other simple impressions. And the first is that this steering weight is much better than the standard WRX. It has a lot more of a meatier feel to it, and it's really makes it a lot nicer to carve up these roads, because the WRX, the chassis and everything, the suspension was set up so wonderfully that it felt very capable, but the steering just seemed a little light. This, it's finally heavy, and I like that. It's really nice feeling, and you know, I haven't pushed it hard yet, but I mean, you can just tell the car is so composed, and it's just a joy to drive on these back roads. The boost threshold though is definitely higher on this car than it is on the WRX. Like I said, it doesn't really start getting meaty until over 3 grand. That's when it starts to finally spool. You know, if you want tons of torque or something right on demand, buy a V8. You know, this being a turbocharged motor, I think it's fun. It adds drama and excitement in theater, because you're waiting for it to spool up, and once it finally does, like I said, it explodes and, you know, plants your head in the headrest, and that's always fun. Alright, so coming up to this very tight corner here, let's see how the body roll is. As I rev match the downshift. Yeah, it just handled that no problem. Holy crap! That was even better than I expected. Wow, okay, so it just took that, like, yeah, what do you got next? Like, nothing. I mean, so you do pay a little bit of a price for this insane handling, and that is that this is a little stiffer than the WRX. The WRX was really refined. It reminded me a lot of like the Audi S4 as far as just how sharp it was and just how planted it was, but it was comfortable and smooth. This isn't quite as comfortable or smooth, but when you're buying an STI, you're going just crazy. You're going all out, and you're not trying to compromise. You don't want a comfortable car. You're looking for something that's insane, and this is insane. I mean, it's not beating me up. It's, you know, the ride quality is fine. It's just a little more communicative, and like I said, you feel the bumps a little more. If you were hitting potholes and stuff left and right, it might get a little tiresome, but it's I don't know. I think it's worth it for the additional handling. All right, so anyway, I'm gonna keep driving this car for a little while longer here, and I'll come back and give you some updated impressions. So I've been driving this car for a while now, and it is a rush. Holy crap, this thing is such a good handler. It used to be the STIs were pretty good, but you had to do some stuff in the aftermarket to really make them feel buttoned down. Not the case. I don't even see any reason why you'd have to modify this thing, unless you want more straight line speed, but the handling is 10 out of 10, top notch, done, don't even have to do anything to it. Seriously, it's that good. It's really, really impressive, and I'm on one of my favorite roads here ever. Basically, it's an amazing road, and I'm pushing this car pretty hard, and I can't reach the limits. It makes you feel like you're invincible. It really does. It's insane just how potent and competent this car is. It's just really a fun car. I mean, these are some sharp corners, and it's just digging in and just going for it. And I mean, these tires are really great too. They're, you know, a lot of what helps make this car such a good handler. But I mean, the suspension setup is really great. And I know I mentioned it's a little stiffer than the standard WRX, which is to be expected. But honestly, I mean, I've been on these roads and they're not all buttery smooth, and it's still fine. Like, as a daily driver, this is still totally tolerable. Not like it beats you up or anything. It's still smoother than the BRZ's suspension was for sure. So yeah, really a nice ride. And you know, I've been really trying to pick apart, and just slowing down here and chilling a little bit, you know, this and the 2015 WRX, and is this worth the almost $8,000 extra? And you know, it just depends on what you want, I think. You know, because this car, obviously, yes, this is, I mean, the WRX was really sharp, but it was also really smooth, and the limits were definitely lower. I could tell that. The limits are higher, it's more aggressive, it's more exciting. I love the sophisticated power band of the 2015 WRX, and you know how it comes on lower, but it still has the punch, it's still fun. But this motor just sounds great still. And I mean, you know, so many people are saying they're missing, you know, with the standard WRX, you don't get the unequal length headers anymore. And so having this signature boxer sound in this car, I mean, it's fun. Like I said, it just depends. If you really hammer on back roads all the time hard, then it's probably worth the money. But the standard WRX is so good on its own that I think you'd be plenty happy just with that. But you know, it is nice to, you know, have the adjustable diff controls and things like that. But you know, like there are trade-offs. For example, this motor being so old, you get pretty crappy gas mileage in this car. You know, you're gonna get, you know, low 20s at best probably, and you know, so whereas in the new WRX with its new engine that's sophisticated and efficient, you get, you know, 30s and stuff. So I mean, just the trade-off. So it just depends on, you know, if you're really worried about, you know, the ownership costs, then you'd want to go with the WRX. But I'm not going to sit here and compare the two because I don't have them to directly compare back and forth. But I know a lot of people would just be curious to see how this compares to the WRX because, like I said, it is a good chunk of change more. And either one, you can't go wrong, but they're tons of fun. And I mean, you just go on back roads faster than you really should be able to. Physics should not allow you to do this. Okay, this is a crazy thought, but the way that this handles it like defies physics. It almost feels like the GTR, where, you know, these are larger cars. I'm not in the tiny little BRZ, but it handles no problem. It's a four-door, roomy, spacious, comfortable car, and I'm practically soaring over these hills, literally. So, yeah, it's a blast, and I haven't driven this road in years, and that also is what's contributing to this being so much fun. This car on this road, freaking fantastic. Oh man, talk about a fun way to spend an afternoon. Also, do I have any complaints about this car? I know half the time I'm just praising and praising these cars, but you know, do I have anything about it that I don't like? Well, the brake pedal doesn't have a great feel to me. It's kind of vague, and it's not as precise as I would like it to be. So that's the only thing, though. That's honestly the only thing that I've noticed in the time that I've driven this car. It's just everything else is spectacular, and you know, I'm just tearing these back roads up, and this car is it's like, okay, what do you got for me next? Like, you know, it just can keep going and going. So yeah, like I said, it makes you feel invincible, which can be a little tricky, you know, for newer drivers and stuff, because this car eventually will reach a limit, and I just can't seem to find them. It just keeps giving and giving. The suspension is just so stable. It's really impressive. So yeah, huge thanks to Hans once again for letting me review his brand new car today. Oh man, I'm telling you what, this is by far the best generation of the STI for sure. I mean, yes, it's not as raw as the previous generations, you know, but like I said, you got this great induction noise now. I mean, this is the best handling STI ever, hands down, no question about it. And like I said, you still have the same great power plant you've always had. So there's really, like I said, I can't find a single fault with this car aside from this brake pedal not having enough feel. Everything. I would rate this car a 99 out of 100. Seriously, it's that good. So awesome. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time. Take care.